Howdy ho, everyone. It's me, Ashley Branch, your favorite friendly neighborhood mom and the creator of the Mommylogeauxs, bringing you Women, Wives, and Moms podcast. Get into it. Howdy ho, everybody. It's me, Ashley Branch, your favorite friendly neighborhood mom, the creator of the Mommylogeauxs and this podcast, Women, Wives, and Moms. And we're continuing with the 30 days of the Mommylogeauxs, and we're still on Aubrey. So I'm going to tell this quick story, okay? Listen, if you are a Christian, this is not an affront to your belief, your systems, your churches, none of that. I'm just telling a story that happened between me and my child one Easter Sunday. So the background of this is, for some time, we, meaning my husband and I, have been exploring our ancestral religions, meaning religious practices that came from Africa. And we decided to start exploring those because we didn't feel like being in church. I have to constantly check this. Something's wrong with me. Anyway, we didn't feel like being in church was serving us. And not because the church I was going to was bad. I enjoyed my church. Ooh, that was a nice breeze, Lord. Thank you. I enjoyed the church that we were attending at the time. They had like marriage ministry and children's church and all kinds of stuff. We started learning Spanish, in iglesias. And we realized initially that we were just going to the church because that's what you do. You just go to church. And then it was like, but what do we do? And so we started like slowly, not going like every Sunday. And it was rough, getting 3 small children ready for church and driving to church and walking and getting to church and finding a seat and all that. It was a lot for me. And I know why. And I'm going to just keep eating this microphone. I have no spatial awareness. It's bad. Okay, I bump into stuff all the time. But anyway, so we decided to just not go to church. And you know how family members are. They're well-meaning. And like, the girls need to go to church so they could see Jesus on Easter. And I'm like, okay. All right. I'll go. So we go to church. We have a good time. It's church. And we go and get the kids from children's church. Now, before I go further with this story, they had an option. They had an option to sit in regular church with mommy and daddy, or they can go to children's church. And at this point, Aubrey's about 5 or 6, something like that. And she says, no, mommy, I'm a big girl. She's 5. She goes, no, mommy, I'm a big girl, and I want to go to children's church without you. Thank you. I was like, all right, without me, whatever. Okay, bye. So she goes to children's church. After church service is over, we get the girls and we head back home. Aubrey is in tears. And we're like, what is going on, babe? Like, talk to me. She was like, I'm going to tell you when I get home. And I'm like, all right. So I start dinner, and she's playing around the house and whatnot. And I'm like, Aubrey, what's going on, babe? Tell me what happened. She goes, I don't ever want to go back to that place ever again, mommy. Promise me you won't make me go back. And I'm like, did somebody touch you? Like, you immediately go to the worst possible, like, scenario. And she goes, no, mommy. Those people are crazy. Do you know what they were doing? Do you know? And I was like, tell me. She goes, them people are crazy. They worshiping a zombie, mommy. They're worshiping a zombie. And then she broke out into tears. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, mommy, Jesus died. And I'm like, yeah, baby, he did. That's part of the story. I've told you the story before. No, that's not it. I'm like, okay. He got up. He got up, mommy. You're not supposed to do that. And I'm like, wait, roll it back. I never told you Jesus rose. I never told you. And I'm thinking, like, why do we celebrate Easter? Because, Jesus died or whatever. And I guess I skipped the part where he rose again. I don't know. Maybe she wasn't listening. Who knows? But she was like, if you die and then you wake up, you a zombie. And I don't want to go back. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say that you're right. And we're not going back. It was confirmation for me, basically. Like, we're not going back. But I tell that story to say this. As adults, we don't understand what traumatizes children because we're removed from it. Not me. I am still in my childish mind. Everything is childish. Don't talk about I am childish. I'm just say that. And I remember what it was like to feel the feelings of something that hurt me deeply, and everybody around me is like, oh girl, it's not that big of a deal. But it is to me. And, you know, I would be scared in church. I remember being like afraid in church, like something was happening and what spirit is moving and is it going to come in me? I don't want the spirit to come into me. That doesn't sound right. Anyway, whatever. The organs would get loud and people start screaming. And I'm like, when I hear screams, my body is like, we should run. That makes sense now. Why people run in church. Mm-hmm. It probably ain't the real reason, but I like it. I'm going to stick to it. I'm sticking by that reason. Anyway, don't disregard your child's fears. I just had to tell Frankie that there is no big bad wolf in the house. She's scared of Swiper from Dora. And I can't tell her that that's not a real fear to have. But what I can tell her is Swiper isn't real. Somebody drew him on a piece of paper, and they drew him a bunch of times, and now they can make him move. But other than that, if it wasn't for somebody drawing him a bunch of times and making him move, he's not real. He doesn't exist. Anywho, just know that your child's fears are valid. You may not understand them, but disregarding them is not going to help dispel those fears. My daddy the same house, we're living in the same house. The girls are sleeping in the same room. When I was small, I believed that there was a real life monster in my closet. And I would wake up and I would have night terrors and I'd be like, there's a monster in my closet. So one night, my daddy said, are you ready for bed? And I was like, Daddy, I don't want to go to sleep in here. Like, there's a monster in there. Y'all just going to let him be in the closet. And I don't appreciate that. And he said, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get that monster. And he went in there and made a whole bunch of commotion and knocked himself around in the closet and was like, came out of the closet breathing heavy and was like, he won't be bothering you ever again. And I believed it because I was a child. Small things, though. Like, come on. Get on a child's level to help them with their fears or with anything. A child's joy about getting a piece of candy is a big deal to them. Have a big deal with them. The world is on hot ass fire. And if you would just take a moment to sit next to your child and look at some of the things they look at, and like even babies, like get on the floor and crawl with them and see what it is that they see, just to get a different perspective. We can't parent from up here and think they're going to get it down here. You got to parent down here. You understand? You dig? You heard me? Like, you know what I'm saying, man. You know Ashley going to tell you what it is. You heard me? Man, don't play with me. Don't play with your girl. Don't play. Anyway, I'm done because I'm getting goofy. Anyway, love your kids. Listen to your kids. Love your spouse. Love your family. And listen to them. And even though sometimes their concerns may or may not be valid, you may help somebody by just listening. That may be a validation that they need if you would just listen. So listen to your kids. If they say church is creepy, church is creepy. The school is creepy. Something creeps them out. That's a real feeling. That's a early feeling to learn. Creepy. I'm creeped out. Anyway, that's all the time I have. People cutting grass, and I'm allergic to everything. So, in the meantime, in between time, be kind to yourself, to others, to this earth, and I will see you on the other side. Peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Women, Wives, and Moms podcast. Remember, be kind to yourself, to others, and to the world. And I will see you on the other side.
Peace. ADHD, y'all. Whoop, whoop.